We continue our discussion of Office 365, and here we look at multi-factor authentication. All right, let's take a look here at multi-factor authentication. You can notice that up here at the top we have several different options such as Active Directory synchronization, which we'll save for a later time, but that allows us to synchronize our on-premises Active Directory user accounts with the cloud, in particular Office 365, Azure, those sorts of things, and then it will use those accounts both in the cloud as well as on premises. And it keeps it simple so that the users don't have to remember two passwords, for example. We can change the password expiration policy for the users, how long the password is good for, how many days out they're notified of a password requirement for the change, and so forth. We can set multi-factor authentication requirements here, and that's what I'm going to click Set Up. When I do that, I'm going to go to this user account, and then I'm going to specify that I want to enable multi-factor authentication here. So I'll just simply select Enable Multi-Factor Auth. Once we've done that and I click on Close, I will then now need to sign out and then sign back in as that user. So I'll go back to, I wish they would, when you sign out, I wish they would leave a link here for sign in again or something like that, but you got to type it all in or whatever. Use your bookmarks, something like that. And then what I'll do here now when I log in and enter in my password is that it says that I need to set up my multi-factor authentication, and so that's what I'll do. So I'll click on Set It Up Now, and when we get to this next page, we'll have the option of using either the Office phone, authentication phone, mobile app, all of these different options. These two here really are going to do a couple of different things. Number one, with the authentication phone, that's the phone that's set up with my account. I can have it call me, and at the end of the voice call, I press a pound or a hash symbol, and it completes the authentication, or I can have it send me a code by text message. And I'll just go ahead and choose that option now, and I'll come back here. I'm going to do this a couple of different ways so you can see the different methods. But I'll have it send me a text message for now, and then when I get that text message, and I'm opening up my phone right now, and hopefully I get a message pretty soon here. There it goes. Then I now have that message. Let's go ahead and enter it in. And then I have a little application here that will show us what's going on my iPhone right now. You can see that I did receive that text message. So let's go, what is it? 894173. 894173. And then once I enter that in, I keep resizing this little app, so let me clear that. Anyway, then once I enter that in and click Verify, it is now verified that. Now this is kind of weird. Look at this. Some of the apps do not have a web browser version, such as Outlook, Apple Mail, and Microsoft Office. So for those applications, I actually have to enter in this convoluted password that you see right here. Yes, folks. Go figure. I'm never going to memorize that. It looks like I'm going to have to probably put that on a sticky note and put it on my monitor. Just kidding, folks. Anyway, so I'm going to copy that into the clipboard so that I can then paste it into any of those apps that I'll run. Now, I'm not going to actually run any of those, but what would happen here is if I ran one of the Microsoft Office apps, for example, when I ran it, it would prompt me for the password, and then I would just paste that in. Okay, and you probably want to do that right after you're done here so that you don't put something else in the clipboard and forget about it. Also, once you enter that into the app, you can have it remember the password so you don't have to enter it in every single time. That could be a real hassle. So anyway, we'll click on Done here. And now we've got our multi-factor authentication all in place. All right, I disabled authentication and re-enable it so that I could go through the Set It Up Now process again. I've already entered in my password, and here we want to use the mobile app. Now, if you go to the App Store or whatever your operating system is, you'll be able to find out that there's an Azure Authenticator. Okay, even though we're not really directly working with Azure, notice that here in the background, even on this for Office 365, again, it points us to Microsoft Azure for this multi-factor authentication. Don't forget, Azure, Intune, Office 365, they're all kind of intertwined together, and sometimes the line's kind of fuzzy there. But that's okay. What we will do here is I'm just going to open that. Now, I've already used it in the past for a couple of different reasons. And so you'll see a couple of different things happening here. Number one, it'll go through these numbers. These are just randomly generated numbers, and it gives it a timeline here. When it gets to the end, it generates a new set of numbers. That has to do with, let me go over here, this mobile app here, where we'll say use a verification code. If I use this method and continue to set this up, then I'll have to make sure that I enter in whatever numbers appear here before it gets to the end when I'm using my multi-factor authentication, and that's how that'll work. If I choose this other option, receive notifications for verification, then I can just click check for notification, and there'll be a verify button up here. Let me just use that one because it's kind of simple. So let me go ahead and click on set up here. And let me drag this off to the side. I might need to click on something here. And then what we'll see here is that there's this dialog box. Now, what's going to happen here is it needs to do this securely so that it needs to associate this QR code with my specific phone. So what I'm going to do is to tap on the plus sign on the upper right-hand side of my phone here. I tap the little plus, brings open the camera functionality. It just scanned that QR code just real quick here. If it doesn't get a good scan, you can enter it in manually. You can see it down here. Notice that on my phone it's the same. And then now what I could do is when I'm done with that, I can click on done. If I see the 6-digit code here, I can click on done. And then I have to wait for the activation status. It just takes about 30 seconds or so for that to notify itself that it's set up properly. And then once it's done, that's pretty much it here. I'll just click on Contact Me. And then what it's going to do is to send a notification to my device over here. So I'm just going to wait for the notification. Once it pops up, I click on, I think it says Verify on it. There it is. So I'm going to tap on Verify here. And now I've successfully completed the sign-in process. I just closed that and then drag this off to the side here. And then the verification is successful. Okay. Then I will still make sure that it has a phone number for me in case I lose the mobile app or, I had to restore my phone somehow or something like that. And then I can just click on next here and it will still be able to contact me that method as well. I'll just, again, copy this into my clipboard for those applications that don't use a browser for the applications. And then it says my session is expired. Okay. So, well, isn't that fun? We'll just go ahead and close this. I think it's probably just I had to do some pauses that you weren't aware of while I was doing the recording. And so I think it kind of had a little hiccup there. Now, let's go ahead and do the two-factor authentication here using my phone again. Hopefully this works. And as I log in here, it's going to use the mobile app to verify my account. So I'm going to drag this over here. Hopefully it gives me a notification here pretty soon. And once it does that, I will tap it and we'll continue on. There it is. So I'll tap Verify and Close. And now we should see it logging me on here in the background, and there we are. Now, just real quick here, it's not part of exam objectives or anything like that. I just wanted to show you another app that you can get from Microsoft. It's called the Office 365. Let me tap on it. I keep trying to click on it with my mouse when it's on the screen here, but I have to still use it on my phone. Anyway, it's the Office 365 admin item, and you can click on Sign In here, tap Sign In, and then just enter in your email and password again, and then it will also work with multi-factor authentication as well. So I've entered in my username and password there, and notice that it says I have received a authenticator item, so I'm going to tap on that, click on Verify, or tap on Verify, and close, and once again, it will now log me on. Now, you can see I'm all logged in the browser here already, but on my phone, it should get me into that Office 365 item, and we'll give a little pause here, dramatic effect. There we are. Okay, so now I'm able to use this. So I can even use this on the beach, for example, if I have to administer my users and my Office 365. And so notice I can tap on my users. There's my, Haley Hansen account. I can do all these things. You get the idea there. It's a pretty handy little item. We continued our discussion of Office 365 with multi-factor authentication. I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.